everyone, this is a short video to debunk 3 common misconceptions about sunscreen and SPF, or sun protecting factor as we better know it. So the first myth I want to debunk is that SPF is not necessarily better, or a higher SPF is not necessarily better. The way SPF works is if you normally burn in 10 minutes, so if normally without any sunscreen you burn in 10 minutes, if you use an SPF 20, you have 20 times as long. So you'd have about 200 minutes or about 3 hours. If you use an SPF 50, technically you should have 50 times as long, so about 500 minutes, so it's about 8 hours. Now, the problem with that is that in that 8-hour period of time, you're likely to sweat, possibly change, or maybe go in the water. So using that extra SPF and getting you through that 8-hour period of day is kind of a misconception, because our activities and the things we're doing is going to probably remove the sunscreen itself, and you're going to need to reapply anyways. So a higher SPF is not necessarily better. It's more important to think about that reapplication and taking shade or wearing clothing and protecting your skin that way. So that's the first myth. The second myth is that SPF is not necessarily proportional. SPF is a term that is around your protection about UVB radiation. Unless the sunscreen says that it's broad spectrum and protects against both UVA and UVB, it's probably only referencing UVB. I'm not going to get into details with that. If you want to learn more, you can check out our guidebook. But what I do want to show you is this little image on the guidebook that just shows you that SPF is not proportional. So an SPF 15 blocks 93% of UVB radiation. An SPF 30 blocks 97% UVB radiation, and an SPF 50 blocks 98% UVB radiation. So you can see it's not going up in a proportional way. It's only going up by a small amount. Selling high SPFs like an SPF 50 or above is actually illegal in some countries because it is such a common, it's such a misleading factor. So that's the second myth I wanted to debunk. The third myth I want to debunk is high SPF cannot be in an aerosol container. When you put on a sunscreen, how much you put on is going to be what the sunscreen is. So spraying an SPF 75 aerosol onto your arm and it only being on in a very small amount may only work as an SPF 8. It really matters how much coverage you're putting on your skin. So using aerosols in a high SPF is really not the best practice. Make sure you're using a cream or using some sort of topical lotion and getting that coverage that you want. If you're using our product, make sure that you take the time to let it soak in. And so the reason why I wanted to say and talk about these 3 things is because our sunscreens are made with SPF 14 and an SPF 20. It's using a zinc oxide, so it's protecting against both UVA and UVB protection. And you are getting that long-term protection as long as you need to before you need to reapply. So I just wanted to answer some questions and really break down this idea that a higher SPF is better, because more often than not it's related to our lifestyle and our application and even where you are in the world. If you're in a high UVB place like close to the equator, you want to be reapplying more often than not. Or if you're super white like me, then you need to be reapplying more often as well. So thanks for tuning in. Bye.